so I got the box. It's just the
normal
like. Whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe.
Nerd stuff. Okay, so this is my buddy Dane, and what we're going to be discussing today is the normalization. Is that a word?
I think so. Sounds like it should be.
It should be a word. If it's not, it should be.
The normalizing?
But normalizing being a nerd. Being a nerd is so hard when you're not around other nerds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's like, take for example, being in high school, you have your groups of people, right? If you do one thing that's considered nerdy, you are forever in the nerd zone.
And you're like instantly disowned.
Yep.
From any group if you do anything nerdy. Like you're instantly that person that walks around with like their hair over their face, black nails with the t-shirt that says "rawr." I think nowadays though, like it's becoming normal to be a nerd.
Yep.
Like with people like Logan Paul, like collecting Pokemon cards, Julian Smith, a bodybuilder, is collecting Pokemon cards as well. Logic blowing like a full house price on a Pokemon card.
What I would do with that money.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
It's funny that it takes a rapper or like a celebrity to do something nerdy in order for other people to be like, oh, that's cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But you've had a cool experience at your own job.
Yeah.
Where being a nerd at something actually was really beneficial for you.
It was because like normally, and I hate doing this at jobs. You know, you're up in like in the front of the new trainees. And they're like, oh, tell us about yourself, where you're from, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, and something that you like doing.
You want people to think you're awesome.
Yeah, because like you're up there, and like as a male, I kind of feel like there is this part of me that wants to just like dominate and be like, I am the alpha. But like you always feel kind of like at the end of it all.
Yep.
So I'm at work, and they were like, so like tell us 3 things about you that like no one knows. And normally I'll be like, oh, like I ride motorcycles, I like fixing cars. Yeah, and I like working out. Just things that I felt like people would be like, oh, that's really cool that you do that. And so I'm up there and I'm like, you know what? Forget this. Like, I play Magic the Gathering. I've been a DM in Dungeons and Dragons. I play D&D. But I also played rugby in high school. And some in college as well. And so it's like this anomaly, I guess, of like, I like being a nerd, but I also like really enjoy playing sports. I love being in the gym. I say that, and you know, I'm like so flustered up there. I'm like, everyone here thinks I'm such a loser, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even care because that's me. I'm speaking my truth. I'm a nerd, guys. I'm drinking a Dungeons and Dragons mug right now that someone got for me because they know I'm a nerd. Anyway, exactly. So I'm at work, and instantly everybody in the office was like, there's this new guy, and he's a nerd. I would be in training sessions with my boss, and he'd be like, Chase, so are you the one that plays Magic the Gathering? I'd be like, yeah. And he was like, dude, I play Magic too! We instantly click with this person, right?
Yeah.
And then I had another example where this guy was like, no, I don't like play Magic, or I don't play D&D, but I really like anime. And it's like, do you watch those things? And I'm like, dude, I watch anime too.
Yeah.
And so like being a nerd kind of has this nice, like it encompasses a lot of things. Like if you do one thing nerdy, you probably do other things that are also like nerdy.
So if you look up the definition of nerd online, which I did earlier today, Wikipedia says that a nerd is someone who has obsessive or overly deep fascinations with things that are not mainstream. We were actually just talking about this. It used to be that if you were a big Star Wars fan and you knew like everything about the galaxies, the storyline, like checkbox nerd.
Right.
Nowadays, with Star Wars blowing up, it's become more mainstream. So like if someone talks about they watch The Mandalorian and they collect Star Wars figures, people will probably be like, oh, okay, he's a little nerdy. But they're not as like, whoa.
A nerd to me is somebody that's just like, they know everything about something that is fantasy, I guess.
Yep.
You know,
it's funny how it's fantasy though. Like, why is that? Because I was thinking about that because so I'm big into weightlifting, as you guys know. I guarantee, if exercise and weightlifting was not like the crux of our society right now, like everyone needs to get yoked, everyone needs to be chiseled. If that wasn't a thing, I feel like to some degree, some people might consider that a form of obsession. And if it wasn't mainstream, it might not be considered nerdy, but like it still kind of goes down that avenue. So I find it interesting that we it's like fantasy related.
Fantasy is cool, like, and I think fantasy just takes you out of like reality, which is what fantasy is. It's like real.
And why is that a bad thing? Why is it that people get made fun of because they look at things and they're like, oh, Star Wars talks about flying ships, like I want to build one day.
Yeah, if anybody tells me that they do not want to be a Jedi or a wizard,
okay, for real, they have no soul.
They have no soul. Like if someone is like, dude, being a Jedi would be so lame, I'd be like, get out of my house. I think everybody wants to have this like thing that they can connect with other people on a different level with, like, but they just don't.
Yep.
Because I think there's a huge fear of judgment.
Yep.
By being a nerd.
100%.
Like when
it's embarrassing.
It is super embarrassing.
It's super embarrassing.
Like, what was that story that you had with you were at work?
Yeah. So I was at work playing Magic the Gathering during my lunch break. MTG Arena, excuse me. And every time I heard the door open in the office, I would immediately exit out of the game. Exit, Alt F4. To like, and then they walk around the corner, and I'm like browsing Microsoft, like just
you're like, I'm looking at shoes.
Research on some alloys. Anyway, and one day I had my headphones in and I was playing. And one of my coworkers named Tristan comes in and he taps me on the shoulder and he's like, dude, are you playing MTG? And I was like, I've been found out. Yeah. There was a part of me that felt like that. But then he was like, oh, dude, like, I play that game too. And I was just instantly like,
it's this instant relief. You're just like,
and I was like, Tristan's cool.
Yeah. As soon as they like tell you I play whatever you're doing too, you're like, this person is the man. I think Magic is one of those things we discuss a lot just because it's something that we play within our group pretty frequently, like something that we all can like connect on. Yeah. But like people connect over like Smash Bros. They connect over collecting shoes.
Gosh, yes.
You know, like as long as it's something that you not obsess over, you know, because obsessing is not the right word, but as long as it's
it would be like a passion.
Yeah, as long as
you're passionate about and brings you happiness and connects you with a group. I think that's where nerdiness is actually starting to go. We have celebrities who are getting involved in the more nerdy things. It's becoming more acceptable.
It totally is. And like with like social media out nowadays, it's easier to kind of express how you feel about something through that. Yeah. And so like for instance, like Logic. Somebody that like came out as a nerd, like from the get-go. And what's so great about like the nerddom is just like there's the camaraderie that just comes with it. For instance, at work for both of us, when we got like not caught and came out, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
When
like,
we were exposed.
But then they connect with you over it and like you make a friend, like bam. Being a nerd nowadays should be normalized just because there is just so many benefits.
In my own life, like before, I was hesitant to join Magic the Gathering. And even like dude, and even like Dungeons and Dragons, which I still am not like huge into, not because I don't want to. Anyway,
it's the role playing.
It's the role play. It's hard for me to get into. I have to be in the mood. But like getting into Magic for me was so hard because I knew that I knew immediately I was gonna like it. Like it's a fun game. It's like strategic. There's building involved. Like it's complex.
It's like, dude,
it is one of the most complex games. But finally getting into it and just like accepting that, I always have fun playing it.
Right.
And like there's always like the boys are like, hey, let's get together like once a month, every couple of weeks and play some Magic. Oh my gosh, it's like a release from stress. Just have some fun. Open that creative vault again in my mind.
Like D&D especially. Like role playing is so weird. Like my first time playing D&D, dude, everyone's Batman. You know, like literally everyone's like, oh, I'm a knight that's from the past and my dark side of my story, and just
like laser beams that shoot on my eye to wear a cape
like
kryptonite's my weakness.
And my name is Man Super
Mega
Ultra Dude Man thing. But like you kind of step out of yourself for a minute. Did you play with us when we did like when we tried to merge two games?
No, but I heard about it.
Dude, it was so freaking sick. I remember that was the first time playing Dungeons and Dragons where I was like, this is freaking cool. Yeah. Like, I remember we played for like 4.5 hours.
Holy
First
cow.
off, not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a sixth of the day.
Now you're married. Woo! You're lucky to get away with 2.
There's a reason why I have the wife that I have now. Backstory real quick. So before I met Mal, and I'd be going on dates with other girls, I would try to be this person that I thought that they would like. And what's so sucky about that is that like I would make myself seem like a person that I wanted to be in the future, like not who I currently am. So I'm on the date with Mal, and we're at Dave and Buster's, and when we would be like talking about things that we want to do or like where we're at in life, I was just like, I'm so tired of putting on this facade of like somebody that I'm really not. Obviously, I wasn't like, oh, I played Dungeons and Dragons, but I was like, I'm just like in my like second year of college right now.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy working out, blah blah blah. And I just kind of kept it like super real with her. I was like, this is where it's at. Maybe looking back on it, that was something that was the crux of me falling in love with her, right? Like as we fell in love, there has to come a point where you have to be like, listen,
This is me,
and I also am just this massive nerd. She has this like trust in me. She has that trust in me because it's like, hey, listen, if I'm out with the boys, I'm not going to Vegas for a weekend. Listen, we're probably going to order pizza, eat nachos, and play Smash Bros. For the next 3 hours. I'll probably come home sick. If you could just like rub my tummy, that would be great.
Also, I'm ordering another box of Magic cards.
Yeah. She actually made a deal. I was like, for all the money that you spend on your hair and your nails, then I will buy something nerdy. And so I was like,
Why do I make these deals?
they do that like every 6 weeks. And when we buy a $20 pack of Magic cards, they're like, what in the...
Why are you wasting money?
Yeah, it's like, yo, your hair comes back the exact same. You spend $150 and your hair looks exactly the same.
You did the same nail color you did the last 4 times.
Yeah, seriously, it's like nothing's changing.
No offense.
Like, I do think being a nerd is something that everybody should do. I think that there is this social culture. I don't know what actually would be. But like, if you're a nerd, you can't be anything else but a nerd. I think people like Julian Smith and Logic are good examples of people that are like something outside of the nerd realm. But I also feel like people don't understand that you can be a nerd and like all these things, but you can also be like somebody who likes riding motorcycles or likes playing sports or working out.
There's like an entrepreneur who like owns a business.
Yeah, and so I think what we want to like really influence upon people is that you can be both.
Yep. Let's be honest. We were both athletes in high school.
We were both athletes in high school.
Closet nerds.
Closet nerds.
Coming out.
People now know that I'm a nerd. Like I feel like my nerdiness I can talk about with people 10 times out of 10. Like that I've told them that I'm a nerd or I do something nerdy. They've been so like responsive to it and have like felt a relief as well as like, oh, I am a nerd too. I also really enjoy that.
Yeah. And those are the people you want to be around.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll find your friends. You'll find lifelong friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited to hit up the gym.
Yeah, hit up the
play
gym.
Some horse.
Play some horse in the gym.
Yeah, I want to win some. I want to win some prizes.
Win some prizes if you
Add to
do
the
win.
correction. Yeah, it's true.
I've been working out 3 days in a row. All day. Work out in the gym. Whey protein. And then come home and I don't know what I do after that, but I come home. and I come home.
I sit on the couch.
And I probably take a nap after that too. Because I'm exhausted. I'm so flippin' tired from the gym. I come home, take a nap. Wake up, go back to bed. Like that's what I do. Life.
That is life.
Amen. Love you all.
Deuces.
This is not like saturating my mouth. My mouth is still so dry.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, my throat's clear.
Is it really?
I'm feeling it.
You good?
Peppermint. Just suck on the tea bag. Oh,
What does your thing say, by the way? One touch of nature makes the whole world kin. William Shakespeare.
wow. Mine's from Aristotle. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous.
I agree with that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.